Everyone, hi. Bruce Mufson, LCSW, coming at you with another clinical breakdown to give to you. And of course, right now, as everyone knows, we're doing Mac Miller, Balloonerism, the album that they found, years after his unfortunate passing. Again, as I'm saying with all of his songs, the ability that he has to draw you in with how he uses music is unparalleled. He's a genius in a way. But Excelsior, like I'm doing right now, had to me a back theme which I want to bring out. Now, again, it's sometimes when I get the lyrics from Genius.com, they have like a little bridge trying to explain the song and what the song means. So sometimes I take them because they're so helpful. So here on Excelsior, Latin for Hire, Mac reminisces on the responsibility-free days of being a kid before modern-day issues inherent to adulthood completely erode that childlike sense of playfulness, innocence, and wonder. What I got from this song was escape. And I'm going to explain that as I go through the song. I'm only going to break down the parts that to me clinically are relevant. And before I begin, I'm just going to make a quick plug. We'd like you to join our group, which is $75 a month, group feature. We feel it's an unparalleled ability to get your mental health questions answered, things defined for you in a very specific manner, and you'll be able to get what we're trying to bring on a deeper level. And it's a one-time fee per month, and if we do other types of programming, it costs you a little bit more money, but you're getting like a 2-3 hour show out of that as well. So again, it's the best value. We're getting people saying, hey, could you be my therapist, individual therapy? We're not doing that. It's just not going to work. We want the group. You pay once a month. You file up through the email, and you'll have access to me. So here we go. What's interesting is that in this song, Mac is using, delusional Thomas, and he's doing another person, and it goes like this: on 4th Street, the orphan children play in the jungle gym. Little Timmy broke his arm again on the monkey bars. Johnny's dad got a nicer car than all the other kids. He becomes the alpha and picks on everybody else. Max protects Claire from all the bullies. Claire always wished she was as pretty as Julie. The boys always chase Julie around the sandbox. Claire just waits till she gets picked up by her grandfather. So off the bat, he's saying on 4th Street, the orphans. Already the kids are different. They're not having a coherent family with the orphans. But it goes like this. He's talking about the kids and the innocence, and they don't know from anything. But read the lines, and you realize already, even at the age of, let's say, 5, 6, 7, there are issues already. The problems have always begun. There's a pecking order. Someone's dad has money. Okay, one guy's prone to breaking his arm. Girls are trying to figure out who's the prettiest girl in the group. Why do the boys chase her? Why don't they chase her? She's waiting for her grandfather. There's always issues, and kids pick up on this so quickly that a lot of times people don't even realize this. Very early in life, who has money, who's the best looking, and who already is the king and queen of your group. He's talking about pureness, but in reality, it's a fantasy. I was 4 years old. I think my first coherent thought, or my memory, I'm trying to remember that, was my dad hitting my mother. I'll be honest with that. I was maybe 4 years old. She was screaming, please don't hit me in front of the kids. And she had locked herself in the bathroom when he was banging on the bathroom door. That was my first memory. That's it. I don't think I was even in elementary. I know I was in elementary school. I don't think I was even in kindergarten. But that's what I remember. So you think about it, this idyllic time that you think wasn't so idyllic, wasn't so pure, wasn't so holy. Already you're dealing with life issues. It's how you're going to handle them that's going to define you. Then it goes, he's talking further in the verse about before they get polluted, start thinking like adults. Okay, fine. And then he's talking about himself. Man, I used to want to be a wizard. When did life get so serious? Yeah, I want to go back into time because I can't handle this time. We all feel that way at one time or another, that if we can step into a time machine, we'd go back. Who wouldn't? I look at my own life at almost being 62, and I realize I made hundreds, and I'm not thinking about that today, but my whole life I realized I made hundreds of dreadful mistakes. Hundreds. Can I go back? Is there hey, let me know. I live in Las Vegas. I'm hoping to have a ride like that soon, you know? I've seen Elvis, I've seen magic shows, I've seen the Tigers, I've been to a lot of sporting events. I would prefer to go back in time. There's a machine like that. Let me know. I'm going every night till it finally happens. Yeah, we'd all like to go back in time and change things about ourselves because you realize how finite life is and how quickly it moves by. And it's interesting because he goes into the kid's voice because he's going with what happened to apple juice and cartwheels, what happened to apple juice and cartwheels. And the second time he says it, it's in a kid's voice. Like it's himself going back as a kid. What happened to the apple juice and to the cartwheels? Now I got 20,000 people for a show. I'm not ready for the show. They're pumping me up with medication, possibly drugs to get me through the show. I'm dealing with tons of anxiety and self-doubt. I'm looking around the room. I got nobody I can relate to and talk to. Everyone here wants something out of me. There's no one that's here for me. Yeah, I want to go back to apple juice and cartwheels. Who wouldn't? Mommy, you know, can't happen. He's telling you how he's feeling. And you realize, and I want you to realize this also, guys, I understand why it's so easy because it's so accessible, self-destructive actions, the drugs, the alcohol. But it only puts you back further in some part of your life, in the game of life. You're not catching up, you're falling behind. You know, it was stated in funny papers, life is short and everything is not going to be simple. But using the substances is not going to help you. I understand why. I don't knock it. I get it. But it's self-destructive. And it puts you behind the curve to be successful. This is why we want you to tune in and follow us. I love the fact that people are commenting, and I'm going to comment back to everybody today. But we want you to join the group for a lot of reasons. One, the price is incredibly affordable. We made it that way compared to what's out there today. And I don't want you to go through life making mistakes that could have been prevented. And I'm the mistake maker in a sense, not even the preventionist. And I can help guide you on what mistakes not to make going forward so you don't have to lose all that valuable time the way I did in all aspects of your life. That's the purpose of SUNRIDGE, Nevada, is to give you the insight about, glad I saw that episode tonight. I'm not doing that tomorrow. I'm not signing that paperwork. Whoa, here's an industry that's actually growing, not contracting. Here's what I should look for in a mate, in a partner. Here's what I should look at myself going forward. Hey, this is worth it, way worth it. That's why we want you to think that way and come to us. We want you to be avoiding those mistakes. And last piece here, the outro, abracadabra, abracadabra. The last thing he says is Excelsior. And that came from who? Who used that word? Stan Lee, one of the founders of Marvel Comics, because he liked the way it sounded. The word is a Latin word. We understand that. I broke that down at the beginning. But Excelsior meant like excitement. Wow. And that's what his characters would say because he felt the word added oomph. It added something special to when the character was going to break it down. That's the whole point about Latin. The Latin part means higher. It's all it means. But the way you would say it would make the character seem larger than life. Even in this song, Mac is grasping for things. I want to be a kid. When I read a comic, I felt like I was part of the character. Excelsior! You know, I'm the Hulk, I'm Spider-Man, I'm Thor. But you realize it's all, in a sense, it's not real. It's just not there. We want to give you that chance to understand yourself. And to understand yourself, realize, even from the very beginning, you got to think, you got to think, you got to think. And we don't want you to make mistakes to put you backwards. Bruce Mufson, LCSW, SUNRIDGE, Nevada.